Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome back to All Things Dope. My name is Chris.
Hey, and I'm Ben.
We are breaking down the dopest news stories of the week. In fact, the biggest thing to come out this week, and it's something that we haven't really talked about a whole lot, but it's the final XMen Apocalypse trailer. What'd you think, Ben?
I thought it was awesome. You got to see more of Apocalypse's power,
Right.
And of course, how he's stealing the mutants' power to absorb into himself.
Right.
I thought it was amazing, and of course, the new actors for Storm and just amazing visuals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it was definitely good. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to take away from the trailer. Although I really like trailer 2 better than this third trailer. I feel like this third trailer showed us just a little bit too much. I didn't need to see.
Okay.
I didn't need to see Wolverine at the end. I mean, I know that there had been rumors that he was going to be in the movie, but I didn't need to see that he's actually in the movie. Save that, man. Let it be a little surprise, like it was in First Class. First Class is in the movie for like 2 seconds, but it's the greatest 2 seconds of the movie. So, for me personally, I didn't need to see that extra Wolverine. I just didn't. Even though it's just his claws, right? It could be anybody's hand. But it's really, it just got it's kind of frustrating to me. Because I like a little secret, I like a little mystery. Don't show me everything,
Well, you know what, though? It's got me wanting to go see it.
Yeah. I mean, we're definitely going to watch it. I mean, definitely watch it open tonight. No doubt about it. I mean, especially because I loved X-Men Days of Future Past. Mm-hmm. That movie is amazing. The Quicksilver scene was
one of my favorites.
Incredible. Definitely the dopest part of that movie. So it kind of makes me wonder, it's like, can this top that? Because Quicksilver is in this movie. He didn't die like his Marvel counterpart. He's still in the movie, and he was quite possibly the best part of Days of Future Past. So I'm super excited to see that. What else, as far as in the X-Men trailer, did you really, really like?
Magneto. I think, honestly, he's going to open up more as far as his character and just the battle he has in himself. Right. Being good or bad. And I don't know, they may throw in a twist in the movie.
Right.
But that's
I get where you're coming from. Yeah, there's a part in the trailer where he says, I've lost my family. He's lost everything. He was publicly embarrassed, because of all the cameras that were rolling at the end of Days of Future Past, where he's trying to take out the president. So everybody see him get, he got punked.
Yeah, he did
on live TV by the X-Men. So he's really in a bad place right now. So we get to see his character and where he's at, and what I'm super happy about. Is that it's not mind control. I was really worried about X-Men, the 4 Horsemen, being mind controlled. It doesn't look like that. It doesn't look like they might be mind controlled. It looks like, at least from this trailer, that Magneto has made the choice to follow Apocalypse.
With manipulation.
Right, I'm sure there's a little bit in there. But yeah, I mean, it's not straight up, hey, you're being mind controlled, you don't have no choice. Yeah. I love the fact that he has a choice. And that's what makes the X-Men movie so dope to me, is because they've always had a choice, right? Yeah. You can hang out with Professor X or you can go with Magneto. You have one of 2 sects that you can join. So I'm super excited that they get to make their own choices in this movie, as opposed to, some Marvel movies that unfortunately mind controlling everybody. Yeah. All right. Well, anyways, let's go into the next topic here. The next big thing that came out this week, or that's been hot, I should say, for the last couple months, actually, has been the Overwatch.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, the Overwatch beta will launch, I want to say, on May 5th. Yeah. So super excited about that. Definitely going to sign up for that. What are you thinking about Overwatch?
I'm not huge on multiplayer, but I think I may get into the beta just to see how it is. Some of the characters are pretty awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
And diverse. And so when you're getting into it, you can choose a different character and not feel like it's the same, game.
Right.
You can change up your play style with each character. And so I'm definitely excited about that aspect of the game. And of course, it's Blizzard. And Blizzard makes great things. I mean,
they've been on a roll for years already. Yeah. I mean, they made Diablo, they made World of Warcraft, which is going to get its own movie later on this year.
Which I'm excited about. I don't know what.
Yeah, it is really, really cool that what Blizzard's doing, and hopefully they can do a video game movie justice with World of Warcraft. The movie definitely looks good. Yeah. But back to Overwatch. As far as Overwatch is concerned, it's something new for Blizzard in a way. Granted, they've had a similar game. I won't mention what that game's name is, but it plays very similar from what I've heard to that game, Team Fortress. Anyways, the way that I look at this game is it does feel very Call of Duty-ish, but also not Call of Duty-ish in the fact that you can, change out your player, your different player at any moment in the game, which that is kind of cool. Granted, you could always change out your loadouts and stuff like that, but to change a totally new character mid-game, I think that will definitely add a different dynamic to the first-person shooter that we've been missing in recent years. But the Overwatch beta for me, at this point, and just betas in general, are all just demos.
Yeah,
I mean, the game's finished. They're just testing out the servers, right? I mean, they're just trying to make sure.
You would think.
Right, for the most part, right.
I
mean, there have been some betas here recently. Again, we won't name any names, but they rhyme with, like, Rainbow Six Siege, you know what I mean? That's one of the ones that's had a terrible beta campaign. And it does, I will say this, though, if you have a bad beta, your game is going to be very hard-pressed to sell.
Yeah, it is.
So, and that's why it's super important to join these betas, to test these servers, to really put a stress test on it and kind of see if they're going to hold up. Because if not, then there's no reason to play the game. You know what I mean? Because at this point, you're pretty much getting the final product with these betas. It's just server test. That's it. That's all it is. So I will definitely be signing up for it. I know Justin, PC Master Race guy, he's been about it. He's been playing the beta. He had an open invitation that they sent out to him. So that was pretty dope that he got to play that.
And I'm not usually into the betas. Like, I'm not usually one to jump on a beta and play.
Beta bandwagon?
Yeah, the beta bandwagon, right? But this Overwatch one does seem pretty interesting. I may actually jump in.
Yeah.
And especially because, some of the other friends we know are getting into it as well.
Definitely.
So.
And that's what has me hype about it. It's really just because a lot of my friends are talking about Overwatch. And for me, it's been a game that's been on the radar. I'm like, yeah, I might buy it, I might not buy it, I don't know. But we'll find out when the beta comes out, if it's worth buying or not, because that's the cool thing about it, is because it is a demo, I mean, you can get the ins and out of it, kind of get a good grasp.
Get a leg up.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you can understand what the game's going to play like, because when it comes out, it's not going to be much different, right? I mean, it's already a finished product. All they're doing is just testing servers. So, I mean, that's the game that you're buying. And if you're happy with that beta, then go out and buy the game, split game. So that'd be cool. But speaking of games, first-person shooter games in general, new Call of Duty
It
hasn't been announced yet. It's been leaked, right?
Yeah.
We've seen a couple leaks that the new Call of Duty is going to be in space. It's going to be called Infinite Warfare, which I think is a dope name, but maybe it's a little bit of product placement for Infinity Ward. They're out there, the ones that are making this game. But I'm super excited about it, especially just being a huge FPS fan myself. It's one of the things that I'm always stoked about every single year that a Call of Duty comes out. How are you feeling about the Call of Duty?
Well, actually, with it being, hopefully, it's going to be in space, but, with it being in space, what are the maps going to look like?
Yeah.
Are you going to have say, like a space, International Space Station map?
Right.
Where you're going to be out in the space in a spacesuit, basically trying to kill people.
And jetpacks. I think. Hopefully they bring back the jetpacks. I really want to be in jetpacks. I like being in jetpacks. I know some people hate the idea of jumping around and shooting guys left and right, but to me personally, I love that because there's not a guy who can pitch a tent in the corner and just sit there and wait for me to come down the hallway, get shot with a one-shot kill. I can now jetpack over, jump that guy, and just blast him in the head if I wanted to. That's what I'm about.
And I don't really think they'll take out the jetpacks just because it is in space.
Right.
I mean, you're going to need something to move around in space.
Right, to move you around, yeah. So I definitely don't think they're going to get rid of jetpacks. Please, Call of Duty, don't get rid of jetpacks, because I'm tired of these freaking campers. I'm super tired of campers.
And then what about the guns? I mean, what sort of guns are you looking at? Futuristic ones?
Yeah, definitely going to go with the futuristic guns. And that's one of the things that I know Advanced Warfare got a lot of slack for their microtransactions, but before all of that took place, just in the regular base game, man, the guns were amazing. They had a shotgun that just shot out like a sound wave. And you could see it. You could see the vibration of the sound wave, and you're just blowing dudes out of the water. I mean, shot in the chest, done. And it's awesome. Not only does it look very cool, but also sound design sounds very cool. Sounds very futuristic. And that's one thing. That's the key to me in the games. That's kind of where Destiny slacked off a little bit. I feel like in their space guns, is that a lot of the guns all sound the same.
Yeah, they do.
And I get that there's a bunch of them, but they're all pretty much the same gun, just with repaints. You know what I mean? So I don't know. For me, that's kind of one thing that kind of felt lackluster. But I think that's also another reason that Call of Duty is going to space, is because of a franchise like Destiny, like Halo. You know, they want to get into that realm of the sci-fi shooter. Mm-hmm. You know, which is definitely dope. I mean, how do you feel about sci-fi shooters like Halo and stuff like that coming from?
Oh yeah, one of my first FPS games that I ever played was Halo, and Halo 2. When Halo 2 came out with multiplayer, I was on it as well. Mm-hmm. But and then right now I'm playing Destiny too. I think I got almost 400 hours into Destiny.
Right, yeah, Destiny. Oh my god, Destiny is a freaking grind fest.
So sci-fi shooters are amazing. I love them. And so if Call of Duty is going to be in space, I may actually be one to jump on this one. Actually.
Right, yeah, definitely. I'm definitely buying it. I mean, Call of Duty has warranted that for me at this point. Is a guaranteed buy. If only for the first month or two, then that's fine. You know,
just don't pre-order, man.
Right, yeah, definitely. I'm against pre-orders in the fact that, you know, you're signing up for something you don't know what you're getting.
Right.
But I think, and this is something that's interesting, right, is that they did leak a Target ad for the what they're calling the Legacy Collection, which is Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, and then possibly a remastered Modern Warfare. Yep. Which is going to be awesome. I don't know if they're going to bring just the campaign back or if they're going to bring the campaign and the multiplayer. But if they do bring the campaign and the multiplayer, that, my friends, that is something worth pre-ordering for. Because Modern Warfare is the dopest dope of all time. It really is. It's super fun. But again, you run into the same issues that you have previously, right? Campers in the corners.
Yeah.
But at this point, I've memorized where those campers are, so they're not catching me this time. What about you, Ben?
With that being said, and the fact that they're going to have it in space this time around, maybe next year, my hope is that they come back with World at War, and they go back to World War II, because that's actually where my first exposure was.
Right.
And so I'm hoping. We'll see if they come back with World at War, World War II game next year. So
I'm definitely not against World at War. That game is definitely fun, and I mean, it has its place. It's just that I feel like the game is evolving, right? So now instead of just fighting, you know, unilaterally where everything's all on one playing field, we're now putting verticality into the game, and that for me makes the game more challenging, makes it more fun, right? Because not only are you having to look left and right, you're now having to look up and down as well, and so that adds so much more to the game. And if you're moving really fast on a jetpack, that also adds another layer of element now, because you got to be quicker. You can't just be, you know.
Yeah, but where do you go from space?
Yeah,
exactly.
And, you know,
so
it's like
you may have to go back to the beginning.
It's like when Jason went into space, the whole franchise died. You know what I mean? So it's kind of one of those things where movies go to space, the movies are over. You know what I mean? They're not making sequels of those. So that is my one fear for Call of Duty, is that, you know, they go into space and they die. You know what I mean? Because that's genuinely what happens to movie franchises, video game franchises, when they change it up. Sometimes it can be bad, but I don't think Call of Duty, they give those guys 3-year life cycle. You know what I mean? They give them, there's 3 different developers working on each Call of Duty franchise, and so Infinity Ward has had 3 years to get their stuff together. So hopefully they deliver. If not, then hey, we'll be playing Overwatch, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so nothing wrong with that. Alright everybody, so with that, of course, that's going to bring our episode to a close. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, killing some time with us. Again, my name is Chris Vargas.
And I'm Ben. If you liked anything in this video, go ahead and drop a like down at the bottom. Of course, comment, let us know how we're doing. And thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
Peace.
Peace.